Philip Champion, aka Hot Sauce, born June 13th, 1976. Some players didn't just play basketball, they changed how the game felt. Before highlights lived online, before every move was recorded and reposted, stories traveled by memory, voice, and reputation. And in that era, one name echoed louder than most: Hot Sauce. To some, he was Flash, to others, the purest handle they'd ever seen. But to those who really understand the game, his story isn't about the NBA, it's about impact. A legend born without permission. This is the story of Hot Sauce. He didn't start as a legend. He started the same way a lot of us did. A kid with a ball, a court, and the instinct that if you wanted to be seen, you had to show something. Before there were rankings, social media clips, mixtape pages, or trainers breaking down your game frame by frame, there were just courts full of people all trying to stand out. And in those environments where reputation traveled faster than opportunity, identity mattered more than anything else. Before he was Hot Sauce, he was just Philip, a guard trying to prove he was different in spaces where everybody thought they were special. But there was something in the way he dribbled that made people stop and watch, even before the crowd reacted. Not just skill, not just speed, but imagination. His handle didn't look taught, it looked felt. Like it came from somewhere internal, somewhere emotional, somewhere nobody else could tap into the same way. On those indoor courts, the game wasn't polite. Nobody let you ease into your confidence. You were either somebody or just another guy waiting for next. Hot Sauce figured out early the fastest way to become somebody was to do something people couldn't stop talking about. Something that didn't just score points but shifted the energy of everyone watching. The first time his hesitation froze a defender in place, the court understood this wasn't normal talent. Word spread the old school way, person to person, city to city, game to game. Somebody telling someone else, yo, you gotta see this guy in person. By the time AND1 started tapping into the underground basketball scene, Philip wasn't rumored talent, he was a presence. A player who didn't just dribble the ball, but performed with it. Not a scorer, not a shooter, not a system guy, a showman. This is where the legend began, not under a spotlight, but on blacktop concrete with no crowd control. When AND1 arrived, basketball culture was already changing. The NBA represented structure, systems, schemes, spacing, and efficiency. But on the streets, the game looked different. Out there, the game was louder, riskier, less predictable, and far more expressive. The playgrounds weren't about who could run the cleanest offense, they were about who could make the crowd feel something. AND1 understood what the league didn't. People didn't fall in love with basketball through fundamentals, they fell in love through style. So when the AND1 mixtape tour hit the road, it wasn't just basketball, it was culture on wheels. A traveling stage where personality wasn't just allowed, it was the currency. You didn't get on the court by being polished, you got on by being unforgettable. And right in the middle of that movement was Hot Sauce. The mixtapes didn't introduce him to the world, they exploded him onto it. The shaky handheld footage, the grainy slow motion crossovers, the crowd running on the court after a move. This was documentation of something that felt almost unreal. Hot Sauce became the moment people waited for. When he checked into the game, you felt the tension rise, not because of competition, but because everyone in that building was waiting for the possibility that something impossible might happen. That hold your breath before the move lands silence, and when it landed, the reaction wasn't just noise, it was shock, the kind that echoes through memory. He didn't look like he was following basketball rules because he wasn't. His game wasn't built on drills, it was built on instinct, timing, showmanship, and understanding how to make people react. Kids didn't go outside trying to dunk like Vince Carter at the time. They went outside trying to dribble like Hot Sauce, and that's when you know someone changed the game. Coaches hated it, players tried to imitate it, crowds couldn't get enough of it. Hot Sauce didn't just participate in AND1, he defined it. He turned streetball into performance art and the mixtape era into a cultural wave that touched every driveway, every park run, every rec league, every school hallway conversation. This is the era where his legend stopped being regional. This is where Hot Sauce became a national myth, a name you didn't just hear, but a name you felt you could relate to. With fame comes expectation, and with expectation comes pressure for your story to look a certain way. As Hot Sauce's legend grew, the questions got louder. Why isn't he in the league? Could he survive in the NBA system? Was he scared to test himself? People love to treat the NBA like the only finish line, as if greatness only counts when it passes through one door. But not every path to impact goes through the league. Yes, NBA scouts watched him. Yes, front office guys sat courtside at AND1 stops. Yes, teams were curious, but curiosity from the league came with conditions. If he toned down the flair, if he simplified his game, if he focused on being efficient, if he learned to operate inside the system, if he stopped playing to the crowd and played the right way. In other words, if he stopped being hot sauce. That's the part most people don't understand. The NBA didn't reject him. He rejected the version of himself he would have had to become. And at the time, it wasn't like the league was the only platform. AND1 was huge. Television deals, endorsement tours, packed arenas, international travel. At its peak, the AND1 mixtape tour was pulling similar ratings to NBA broadcasts. Hot Sauce wasn't choosing between big time and the streets. He was choosing between changing who he was or staying who he was. And identity is a powerful thing. His game wasn't built to be controlled. His handle didn't come from structure, it came from freedom, from expression, from the crowd reacting before the move was even finished. If he toned that down even a little, the magic disappeared. Could he have played in the NBA? Maybe, but not as hot sauce. Not as the player who changed how basketball felt. He would have had to become just another guard trying to earn minutes, and that was never the point, because some players aren't trying to fit into basketball, they're trying to reshape the imagination of it. Hot Sauce didn't become a cautionary tale, he became a mirror, a reminder that sometimes to protect your greatness, refuse to shrink it. Some careers are measured in banners, others in influence, and every player with a creative handle today, every hesitation, every fake, every sequence built on rhythm instead of rules, carries a piece of his fingerprint. Hot Sauce did more than most. He walked away as a reference point. Because when players today string together dribble combos that didn't exist 20 years ago, when crowds react to a move before the shot goes up, and when the game feels like rhythm instead of routine, that's where his influence helped grow the sport in a direction that only elevated basketball, period. He showed that basketball doesn't have to be controlled to be great, that creativity is a skill, that confidence is a language, and that sometimes the most memorable players aren't the ones who fit the system, but the ones who force the game to expand around them. His story reminds us that there are different kinds of greatness. Some careers live in record books, others live in memory, in the way the game feels, in the players who came after. Hot Sauce became that, a player who didn't need a jersey number in the rafters to become legendary. His highlights didn't need a broadcast network to become iconic. His legacy wasn't measured in awards, it was measured in reaction. And if you were there to see it even once, you remember that feeling. That's impact. That's legacy. That's the story of Hot Sauce.